Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary, I'd like to pick up on a question that Senator Cortez Masto just asked you. She asked, why spend time on land, BLM land, with federal lands that have low potential for leasing for energy development? So I'm going to ask you the other side of that, the converse. Why are you blocking development on land that has high potential for energy development? Right now, you've issued a draft resource management plan that affects my state of North Dakota. It will block 45% of the potential federal oil and gas acreage and 95% of the federal coal acreage. So, she asked the question, well, why would you waste your time on lands that aren't going to be leased for energy? But why are you blocking the development on lands that can produce energy at a time when gasoline prices are higher and we need more electricity and more baseload dependability for our grid, and you're blocking the federal leases that we need to produce that energy? Why is that?
Senator, I would say that there is a process that we go through when we think about the leases that we have, the lease sales that we have to have. It isn't so much blocking as it is assessing what lands are available and which lands should be up for lease.
But you're not putting them up for lease. You not only are blocking development, you've raised royalty rates, and as a result, energy prices are higher. Why wouldn't you allow our energy producers to produce more energy here at home to bring prices down at the pump, to reduce prices for hardworking consumers across America?
Senator, oil production is at an all-time high on federal public lands here in our country. There's a lot that goes into determining the price of gas. If it were just supply, then prices would be low right now because we're doing our jobs, and that is the truth. There's more oil that's being produced currently than there ever has been in our country.
No. What you like to refer to is because New Mexico had a lot of leases that were leased out prior to your administration and they're now being developed. There's a spike in New Mexico on federal development, but states like mine my state's down 500,000 barrels. We've gone from 1.5 million barrels a day. We're down to about 1 million to 1.1 million barrels a day. And overall, the production in the United States is down under this administration, not up. So I know you want to do that selectively to try to make your case, but it doesn't work. Prices are higher. We had Secretary Granholm in front of us, and she agreed with me that more supply helps bring prices down. So prices are higher. So so tell me, do you think more supply brings prices down or not? Would you agree with that or not?
Senator, in 2022, oil production on federal lands in North Dakota was higher than in 2020.
But our total production is down 500,000 barrels because we're blocked from producing more on the federal lands, which you are now blocking us from doing. And remember, there's a lag between when you lease, when you get the drilling permit, and when you get the production. And you're telling, okay, so by your logic then, by raising royalty rates and blocking production, which again, you add more regulations to keep blocking us, you're saying that produces more supply. That's your argument. By blocking production on federal lands and increasing royalty rates, your argument is that is producing more energy?
Senator, there is a process, of course.
No, if you would just ask my question, please.
Oil production is up. Oil production on federal lands is at an all-time
Okay, so when you provide a lease, the very same day the production starts, is that your argument?
No, Senator.
So there's a whole lag process here, and you're utilizing that to make an argument. You're also again, back to my question. So your policies to restrict development. The chairman's opening question to you was, when are you going to allow production offshore? My whole question to you is, by blocking production and raising royalty rates, which is your policy, you feel that produces more supply and lower energy. And the corollary, and actually, now this time if you would please answer the question, and also, would you rather get that energy here at home, where we have the best environmental standards, or would you rather continue blocking it here at home and get it from places like Venezuela and other adversaries like in OPEC?
Senator, as I mentioned earlier, there are nearly 7,000 permits across the country that are not being used. Companies have nearly 400 approved permits to drill on federal lands and Indian land in North Dakota that they haven't used. There are 226 approved permits on federal land and 166 approved permits on Indian land in North Dakota. So I'm happy
Many of which
to-
are blocked by your regulation or the courts where they have to litigate. You don't get a lease and produce it the next day, Madam Secretary. Would you agree with that, at least?
Well, of course, and that's why when the applications for permits to drill come into the department, our staff works very hard to move those forward, and they have done that since January 2021. They have moved those applications forward, and that's the reason why there's nearly 7,000 unused permits in our country.
Then why are energy prices higher at the pump?
I think there's a lot that goes in to determine the cost of gasoline, Senator. I think you know that as well.
The consumer still pulls up to that pump and pays a lot more, and we need
And
more supply.
And I understand, I raised my child as a single mom. I know what it's like to not have enough money to either pay your rent or pay your student loans or buy groceries. I get that. And that's why we're working hard at the department to move our goals forward, to move these issues forward. There are 226 approved permits on federal land in North Dakota.
Mr. Chairman, one final question. A federal district judge has now ordered that you continue lease sales on a quarterly basis. Are you going to do it? He's ordered you to continue the quarterly lease auctions that you are holding up. Will you comply with the court order?
Senator, we will follow the law to the best of our ability. Thank you.